Hello, I'm Martin, and welcome to Short Stories, brought to you by the National Taichung University of Science and Technology Language Center. Today's short story is called The Mouse and the Weasel. This fable is very old and may be older than Aesop himself. It has been rewritten multiple times by various authors, but the lesson is always the same. Greediness leads to misfortune. First, I'm going to read the vocabulary and example sentences. Next, I will read the story. Finally, I will give you 4 listening comprehension questions. Let's get started. Vocabulary. Satisfied. Satisfied. You can't make everyone happy because some people are never satisfied. Metabolism. Metabolism. Exercising regularly will increase your metabolism. Slim pickings. Slim pickings. I arrived late to the buffet and found slim pickings. Entitled. Entitled. Many people feel entitled to eat whatever they want in the movie theater. Eureka! 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 Shouted the man when he found some gold. Chow down. Chow down. It's dinner time, which means it's time to call the kids inside to chow down. Distended. Distended. The snake's body looked distended after eating the rat. Be no more. Be no more. He lived a long life, but sadly he is no more. Now the story. There was once a little mouse who lived on a farm. He lived in an old stone wall at the edge of a cornfield. Every autumn he would venture into the field to grab a few leftover corn kernels after the farmer had harvested the crop. It wasn't much, but it was enough for most mice. Unfortunately, the mouse in this story wasn't satisfied. He would always complain to his friends that he never had enough to eat. "I'm still hungry," he said. His friends would tell him, "You eat as much as we do, and we feel fine." The mouse would always reply, "My metabolism is obviously much higher than yours, so I need more to eat." One autumn, the little mouse finally decided he had had enough of slim pickings. He came up with an idea to get as much corn as he wanted. He would raid the silo. The other mice advised him against this. "No," said one, "don't go in there. You might never come out." Another said, "That's the human's share. What makes you think you're entitled to it anyway?" The little mouse raised his tiny fist to the sky and said, "By God, I'll get that corn or die trying." That night, the little mouse ran circles around the base of the silo, looking for a way in. He found a small crack that was just big enough for him to squeeze through. "Eureka!" he shouted. Once he was inside, he started to chow down on as many corn kernels as he could get his paws on. He laughed and said, "It's all mine. I bet those other mice will be really jealous when they hear about this." The little mouse ate until he fell asleep. The next morning, the little mouse woke up feeling sick. He had eaten so much that his little stomach had distended to twice its normal size. He groaned as he tried to move his bloated body. "Oh, why did I eat so much?" he said to himself. He tried to get out through the crack, but got stuck. Because he had grown in size, he could no longer fit through. He tried to back up, but he found he couldn't do that either. The little mouse was trapped. "Help!" he called out. "Will someone please help me out of here?" Unfortunately, there was no one around to hear him, and he remained stuck for several hours. The little mouse began to worry that he may never get out. By noon, the sun was shining down on the poor little mouse's head. It was very hot, and the bright sun was hurting his eyes. He could barely see someone moving close by. "Hello? Is someone there? I really need some help," he called out. As the someone got closer, the little mouse could make out a pointy face and a long, slender body. It was a weasel! The little mouse suddenly became very scared. "Do you need some assistance?" asked the weasel. "No, I'm okay. You can go about your business. I'm just enjoying the sunshine," said the mouse as he laughed nervously. "How did you get stuck in there?" asked the weasel. The little mouse said, "Oh, I'm not stuck. This is my house." The weasel got closer and looked at the mouse's fat face. "You are quite a plump little mouse, aren't you?" he said. "Don't come any closer. I'm warning you," said the mouse. The weasel was now standing over the mouse's head, blocking the sun. "I'll help you get out of there, little mouse. But first, you'll have to lose some weight." Before the mouse could reply, the weasel snapped his neck and immediately began gobbling up the mouse, one piece at a time. When the other mice learned what had happened to their friend, they all shook their heads and said, "He always wanted more, and now he is no more." Questions. Number 1. Why wasn't the little mouse satisfied? A. His cookie had raisins in it. B. He wanted to sleep more. C. He wanted to drink more milk. D. He wanted to eat more. The answer is D. He wanted to eat more. Question 2. Why did the little mouse shout, "Eureka"? A. He discovered the answer to a math question. B. He was eating a Greek sandwich. C. He saw the weasel. D. He found a way into the silo. The answer is D. He found a way into the silo. Question 3. Who heard the little mouse's call for help? A. His friends. B. The farmer. C. The weasel. D. The fox. The answer is C. The weasel. Question 4. What is the lesson of the story? A. Sharing is caring. B. Might makes right. C. Say no to drugs. D. Greed is bad. The answer is obviously D. Greed is bad. This is a very simple story with a simple message. That's the end of today's short story. If you listen carefully, you heard the mouse shout, "Eureka," when he found the crack in the silo. Eureka is a Greek word that means something like, "I have found it." It is also the official motto for the state of California, and in fact, it's on the official state seal. It is a reference to the discovery of gold in California in 1849. Well, thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.